Welcome back to the Beasley Finds channel. I'm a military veteran and solo content creator, making videos about travel, retirement, and living abroad. Subscribe if those topics interest you. This video is a continuation of my series on Puerto Rico, and in particular, part 2 of my breakdown on Culebra. Each video stands on its own, but if you missed part 1, follow the link in the video description below. Similar to the previous video, we'll explore a bit on the map while I point out various beaches and places to go. Towards the end, I'll tell you how to get to the island of Culebrita, which is a completely uninhabited paradise island 20 minutes from Culebra. You should definitely check it out. As mentioned in my previous video, Melones Beach is great if you're into snorkeling. Go early in the morning or in the mid-afternoon to see some of the best coral and underwater life on the island, in my opinion. I've seen octopus, cuttlefish, manta rays, puffers, sea anemones, and many other beautiful creatures in this location. If you didn't bring snorkel stuff, you can rent it from a local dive shop, or perhaps your Airbnb host will provide some gear. The Culebra Divers Shop seems to have a small selection with a mask, snorkel, fins, and vest for $20 per day. Personally, I don't use a flotation vest, and Playa Melones has very calm waters suitable for beginners. And while you might not need a flotation device, you will need some fins or at least water shoes because the entrance is rocky and there are spiny sea urchins. So use caution when getting in the water. By the way, Playa Melones is also a great spot to watch the sunset from. The next spot is great whether you're a snorkeler or not, but please do get a mask so you can see the turtles at Playa Tamarindo. Bring water shoes here as well because the water entrance is also rocky. And you might want to buy a long sleeve swim shirt that's ideal for protecting your body from the sun's harmful rays. But if you need sunscreen for your face and neck, use the ThinkSun link in the description for a reef-safe product in their lineup such as ThinkSport. I use this product myself and highly recommend it. By the way, we have seen these amazingly cute sea turtles every time we go to Playa Tamarindo. We usually go in the afternoon and the turtles are active in feeding, but they might also be active in the early morning. You have to search around sometimes to spot them, but once you do, you can observe them feeding or swimming from a respectful distance. This area is pretty grassy on the bottom and quite calm, which is probably why they come here, and we hope they keep coming back. Next, I will mention a couple other things you might like to do. One recommendation is to take a driving tour of the island. Driving out to Zoni Beach in the northeast is a nice way to see some of the island and spend a morning or afternoon. On your way, stop at Dee's Garden for a delicious fruit smoothie. Playa Zoni isn't the best for swimming because of the wave action, but it is great for taking a walk and just relaxing. It's quite scenic here, and towards the northwest end of the beach, there are some cool volcanic rock formations you can explore, especially if the tide is out. But be safe if you decide to swim here because the waves can be a little rough at times and there are no lifeguards. As you look out to sea, note that there are a few islands, and the one to the right as you look out is Isla Culebrita, which you can identify by the lighthouse on the summit. Later in the video, I'll tell you how to get there and enjoy an awesome day on this uninhabited island. For my friends out there that like to dive and snorkel, I haven't done any dives in Culebra, but I may be doing one on my next trip. Let us know in the comments if you have any tips for diving Culebra. For snorkeling, I have already discussed Playa Melones as a fantastic spot, arguably the best that is easily accessible. The next location is from the beach that I mentioned in the previous video called Playa Carlos Rosario. Watch that video for an explanation of how to get there, but the short story is that you need to hike from Playa Flamenco parking lot. The best snorkeling is a couple hundred yards out in the direction of the mooring ball where I presume snorkel tours tie off. On the way out, you'll pass over some deeper water that you can see on the map, and there is a nice wall of corals, and you should be able to see all the way to the bottom if the water clarity is good. You can swim out over the reef here, and the depths are quite nice for snorkeling. As you can see on the map, the formations continue to the north. But snorkel with a partner because there are no lifeguards and sometimes nobody there at all. If you're not confident and a strong swimmer, you might be better off going with the snorkel tour. Please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date on future Beasley Finds videos. The next snorkel spot is actually from Playa Flamenco, but not from the main parking lot side where you pay to park. It's from the eastern end of the beach. In the previous video linked in the description, I explained how you can drive a Jeep on the 4x4 path to this end of the beach. It's really just an unpaved rocky road called Flamenco Beach Road. Anyhow, the best snorkeling is to the north and slightly east as you parallel the shoreline. You can see the formations on the map and the depths are quite nice with some coral canyons you can swim up into. Again, always go with a swimming buddy for safety. Now let's move on to the island of Culebrita. As if we hadn't done enough island hopping already, my next recommendation is to take a 20-minute water taxi to this amazing island. Definitely bring a cooler, some snacks, and cold beverages for this trip. You will be spending at least 4 to 5 hours on this little slice of paradise. There is literally nothing on this island except for an old lighthouse and about 1 million hermit crabs. By the way, keep your food in a cooler or a secure bag because it could get stolen by the crabs. These crustaceans are pretty funny, especially the little ones. We really get a kick out of how many there are. Speaking of kicks, try to be careful when you're walking the trails because you could easily step on one of these critters as they are literally everywhere. But they're really not a nuisance and won't try to hurt you or anything like that, so don't let it stop you from going. As mentioned, you can book a trip with one of the small boat operators such as H2O Water Taxi. The water taxi dudes are really nice and might just take a nap or do some fishing while you're out exploring the island. Depending on the weather, they'll either drop you off on Playa Cristo or Culebrita Beach, but you can walk, hike wherever you want on the island. The trails do have some markers and signs, and your guides will show you a map if you ask, but you can easily see where you are on Google or Apple Maps. You can hike up to the lighthouse, but I recommend the natural pool area instead. It's a scenic walk from Playa Tortuga over to the pools and less than half a mile, but some of it is walking over a rocky coastline, so it can be a bit slow going, especially when the tide is high and there is less beach to walk on. In any case, you will find this place to be very pleasant and fun to explore. Towards the northern extent of this area, you can see some big waves crashing on the rocks. After you've had enough fun at the natural pools, make it back to where the water taxi is tied off and have your lunch. The beaches here are super relaxing and it's great to float around and do a little snorkeling for an hour or two. The last time we went there, our water taxi driver was feeding a nurse shark and getting him to come swim with us. He was even petting the shark. The time before that, the diver was fishing and trying to catch a barracuda that was cruising along the shoreline. Always something cool to see on this little island. By the way, there is another island near Culebra that you can visit called Cayo Luis Peña, which is part of the nature reserve. Let me know in the comments if you've been there and what you think of it. I haven't gone yet, but maybe next time. And if you haven't heard about the other big island off the coast of the main Puerto Rico island, it's called Vieques. It's the sister island of Culebra. We are going there on our next trip, so subscribe to the Beasley Finds channel and you won't miss our video covering that island. Okay, that's all I have for this video. Let me know if there's anything else you want to know about Culebra, and please stay tuned for future videos about travel, retirement, and living abroad. Take care, my most excellent viewers. Bye for now.